We're going to read one of the best known, if not the best known, gospel verses in the Bible today. It's a fitting finale to the Lord's discussion with Nicodemus, and we'll find it in John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. It's a great gift to have, to be able to summarise in a few words what is really a huge subject. At the very end of this gospel, when he had considered all that could have been written about the person and the life of the Lord Jesus, John comments, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Chapter 21, verse 25. Here we have in 25 words a full yet concise summary of the Christian gospel. Like the previous illustration about the brass serpent in the wilderness, the verse presents to us the two sides of the gospel. The first 12 words are about all that God has done, and the last 12 words are about what a sinner must do. Those two sets of 12 words are linked together by the word Son, God's Son, right in the center of the verse. He is, of course, the very center of the gospel. If you've ever been to Sunday school in Northern Ireland, or maybe the English-speaking world, you'll maybe remember a children's chorus that describes this. 25 words in John 3:16. No greater text has ever been seen. 12 about God and 12 about me. Son in the center, verse 16, John 3. This golden gospel text begins with a love that is limitless. It's the love of God. For God so loved the world. What breadth is in that phrase? And that's where the gospel starts, in the very heart of God. A love that is not drawn out by our loveliness, but that flows out despite our unloveliness. A love that is genuine, the love of God to you and me. The love of God is given expression then in a gift that is measureless. John goes on to record that he gave his only begotten Son. God's love is not just something that the Bible talks about, it is love in action. We give gifts that we can afford, gifts that leave us with our prized possessions. But God gave his beloved Son, gave him to be insulted, despised, rejected, betrayed, wounded and bruised, to be forsaken. God gave him in sacrifice that we might be forgiven. And that is an offer that is boundless. If God's love is for everyone, the whole world, his offer of forgiveness, of salvation, is for anyone, that whosoever believeth in him. A child can trust him, a teenager can trust him, a man can trust him, a woman can trust him, a senior citizen can trust him. The offer is for anyone and is beyond no one. That whosoever means me. It means you and me. An offer, of course, can be accepted or it can be rejected. The offer of the gospel is no different. There are consequences for our attitude to God's love, to God's gift, to God's offer. There is a ruin that is endless. It is to perish. There is a blessing that is exhaustless. It's everlasting life. Those words with which the verse ends, should not perish but have everlasting life, set out the eternal consequences of the gospel. It is to be lost or to be saved forever. God's love would bring us into his family as children of God. But no one can be a child without being born again. And no one can be born again without faith, trust in the Lord Jesus Christ.